And here is the Writer's Almanac for Monday, the 2nd of December, 2019. It's the birthday of George Saunders, born in Amarillo, Texas, 1958, author of Civil War Land in Bad Decline, Pastoralia, Persuasion Nation, writer for The New Yorker. He grew up on the south side of Chicago, and he went off to a mining school and studied geophysical engineering, although he had always wanted to be a writer. And even though he admired the writer Thomas Wolfe, he said, "I liked him because he was epic and broken-hearted and sloppy and emotional and in love with the world," and wrote sentence after sentence beginning with the word "oh," as in, "Oh, Brooklyn, harbinger of cruel autumn." I loved his big-heartedness and the way, apparently, he had just taken his life and made a huge book out of it. George Saunders graduated from college, went to Asia to work in oil fields. He held a string of jobs in places like wastewater plants and military installations, which he said sort of tempered his sentimental streak. And he started writing. He said, "Any claim I might make to originality in my fiction is really just the result of this odd background, basically just me working inefficiently with flawed tools in a mode I don't have sufficient background to really understand, like if you put a welder to designing dresses." And it's the birthday of the novelist Ann Patchett, born in Los Angeles, 1963. She had a big success when she was still an undergraduate in college. She had her first short story in the Paris Review, but then had to get a job waiting tables at TGI Fridays in Nashville, where she said, "I had to come to terms with the fact that I was just like everybody else, a girl with a dream and a plate of hot fajitas." Her first novel was The Patron Saint of Liars, 1992, and it was her fourth novel, Bel Canto, that was a huge success, sold over 1 million copies in 2001. It's the birthday of the novelist and short story writer T.C. Boyle, T. Corrigesson Boyle, born in Peekskill, New York, 1948. Father was a janitor, school bus driver, mother a secretary, both of them alcoholics, both died young from alcohol-related illnesses. T.C. Boyle got a job as a high school teacher and decided he wanted to become a writer. He said, "My apprenticeship was spent in dark bars till late at night, and in New York they stay open till 4, with a bunch of other deadheads telling them how I was going to write and arguing various points of aesthetics. After a couple of years of that, I thought, well, gee, maybe I actually might want to try to write something." And he did. Got a couple of stories published, got accepted into the Iowa Writers' Workshop, and he went on to write The Tortilla Curtain, Drop City, and The Women, a novel based on the life of Frank Lloyd Wright. And it's the birthday of the novelist Elizabeth Berg, born in St. Paul, 1948, a registered nurse for 10 years, then wrote for Parents magazine, her first novel, Durable Goods, 1993. Here's a poem for today by Edna St. Vincent Millay, The Courage That My Mother Had. The courage that my mother had went with her, and is with her still, rock from New England quarried, now granite in a granite hill. The golden brooch my mother wore she left behind for me to wear. I have no thing I treasure more, yet it is something I could spare. Oh, if instead she'd left to me the thing she took into the grave, that courage like a rock, which she has no more need of, and I have. The Courage That My Mother Had, a poem by Edna St. Vincent Millay. And that's the Writer's Almanac for Monday. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.